Edge life, you're too close to the ledge. We gon' push you forward a few steps ahead. It's that edge life. Oh, oh, gotta get it in your head, baby. Welcome to the edge life. You're too close to the ledge. We gon' push you forward a few steps ahead. It's that edge life. Oh, oh, gotta get it in your head. Welcome to the edge life.
Welcome to that Edge Live, Edge Live, Edge Live. Hey, what is going on, good people? This is the Edge Live, and babe, it has been literally been 2 weeks since we have been live. It has been 2 weeks since we have jumped on the podcast, and there's a reason that it's been 2 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, we have been bragging that we're on a roll. We had 40 plus. I think we were to 45.
Yeah.
And then lo and behold, bum, bum, bum.
Burn, burn, burn. What happened, baby?
We got the Rona.
The Rona, man.
COVID.
The Rona. Yeah.
COVID tried to kill me.
Yeah, COVID tried to kill us.
In my throat. COVID made me choke. COVID. COVID tried to kill me.
Tried to kill me. Y'all know we always gonna have something fresh, but it did not kill us. It did not put us down. So I just say, hey, listen. What's going on, everybody? I hope you all are well. I hope your families are well. And we are on the rebound. You see the smiles on our face. You see the glistening in our eyes. So we are definitely on the mend. So just real quick, if you are not following us on YouTube, make sure that you go follow us on YouTube. Make sure that you hit that button, that like button. Check this out. See, y'all don't know, but literally this week we've had almost 40 new YouTube subscribers, and we have gone over the 100 mark. And I know for a lot of people, they're like, "Oh, it's just 100. It's just 100." But listen,
when you start at zero,
when you start at zero, right? And after 100, we know that things are going to get popping. So please make sure you hit the notifications bell. That notifications bell will let you know when we go live. It'll let you know
something fresh.
We drop because we've been dropping some. Tell them about VLOGMAS and tell them about what we doing with this VLOGMAS thing.
VLOGMAS,
yeah.
So it's like vlogging Christmas. So you get a little taste of something from the Edge life.
Yep.
Every single day in the month of December. So you get to see all the good, the bad, and the ugly.
and that listen, it is true.
Yeah, y'all saw me with no makeup on during the COVID. So that was your Thanksgiving gift from me to you.
Well,
COVID giving.
It is definitely COVID giving. It is definitely COVID giving.
It was COVID giving for us. Anyways, we hope you and your family had a wonderful Thanksgiving. I think we have so much literally to be thankful for.
Yep.
Within this year, I know we're going to talk tonight a little bit about our experience with the virus.
Yep.
But, I was talking to a friend of mine, my best friend, who is a healthcare worker. Mm-hmm. So shout out to everybody in healthcare.
All them healthcare workers.
All them healthcare workers. You guys and gals have been just in this to help us win this. So we appreciate all the sacrifices so much.
Yeah.
And being there on the front lines and seeing the things that you've had to see and endure, because truly COVID brings about a lot of suffering in many different ways, physically, emotionally, and for some folks, even financially. So we've experienced all of the above. But we want to thank those healthcare workers. But my friend was saying,
what was your friend saying?
Who's a healthcare worker who did get the virus this week. She was just saying how she really felt like God had to get her still.
Wow.
And that she really used her time to it really had been a blessing.
Mm-hmm.
The time had really been a blessing, and it had just like sucked her into his presence and just allowed her to get closer to God. So she needed that time out. And, I will say my experience with COVID, I love and appreciate my family so much and my
Mm-hmm.
friends and all of that, but it took it to a whole nother level.
So let me say this. Speaking about taking it to a whole nother level, let's kind of take our friends and our family and those people who prayerfully have not
We
experienced
hope you
this
don't.
disease, and we definitely hope you don't. But let's take them behind the scenes tonight. Let's share with them about our experience. We're what, 14 days in now, 15?
So I'm at 14 days from the first day that I had a symptom.
Yeah,
So I know, and I just knew.
yeah.
It hit me between Saturday. It was in the wee hours of Sunday morning.
Mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm,
sometime
mm-hmm.
between the time I went to bed until I got up on Sunday, we had and I specifically remember because we had a surprise for Jessa.
Yeah, yeah. We
She's
bought
about
Jess a car, y'all.
Yeah,
We
she
bought
turned
Jess a car.
16 in October, and
Mm-hmm.
we bought her a car, and we were trying to surprise her because it was parked in the yard. She had no idea. So we hung the key on her doorknob, and I went to bed,
Right.
and it was a little bit after midnight, and I woke up, and I felt like I had been hit by a Mack truck.
Mm. Mm.
And I put on a mask and went out there. Some of you all may have seen the video on my personal Facebook page
Yeah.
if you're following me,
Mm-hmm.
where I chronicled giving her the car. So
Yeah.
that's when I know that mine started. And mine started with just feeling bad. I did not have a fever,
Mm-hmm.
but I had a really bad headache, and it was a sinus headache, and I never get headaches.
Right. Right.
So I mean, I don't know. Something in my gut just told me.
You was like, COVID alert, COVID alert.
I know.
Something,
My body
something's
was
going
telling
on.
me,
Something's
like,
going
this
on.
is not, not your norm. So we wanted to share this story.
Yeah.
Because, there are 330 million Americans in our country.
Yep.
And it seems like a minuscule amount. It's almost 15 million people who have contracted the virus.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But for those 15 million people's families, friends, and their circle,
It's a big deal.
It's huge.
Yeah.
It's impacted, and I say millions. I literally mean tens of millions, hundreds of millions. It's impacting 330 million of us as we speak right now in lots of different ways. So, it's a pandemic.
Yeah.
It's a big deal, and it should be taken seriously. So
Right.
we just say to you, we wore masks. We kept hand sanitizer in our cars.
We
and
washed our
us.
hands.
We washed our hands.
Yep.
Yes.
We did every single thing
We
that.
did everything we knew to do.
Right. Right.
But there are 6 of us in this house.
Mm-hmm.
We are in one school system, but 3 different schools.
Right.
We have one that's still virtual. And then we have lives. I have very stringent protocol where I am. So, you're working from home right now, but there are so many of us going in and out.
Right.
I have to go to the grocery store, all those sorts of things. You just don't ever know. This is an invisible enemy that is lurking.
Yeah.
That you just don't know when. So just want to encourage you to be safe.
Right.
I don't regret wearing the masks and all of that. And people are just still not taking it serious. Like, we are surging.
Yeah.
Like right now today, I think there are 230,000+ people who have the virus today.
Wow. Yeah.
That's almost as many as have gotten the virus. Like,
Right. Right.
No, I'm joking. That's really not that many, but 230,000 people.
Yeah. I mean, no matter how you look at it, it's still a lot of people. And you said something a second ago that I think is very, very impactful. Even though we still contracted the virus, I will say that I would still wear a mask. I would still wash my hands. And we're still doing that right now.
Yeah.
But my point though is there are so many people who are not, and I will just say this: if for whatever reason wearing the mask, doing the hand sanitizer, washing your hands, if that prolonged me from getting this virus, that in and of itself was worth it for me, because I'm just being really honest. This virus, this disease, this whatever they're calling it right now, that changes, it seems like, 1 minute to the next, but
it's a viral disease.
But it
cover 'em both.
It hurt my body. It pushed my body to the limits, and I pride myself on trying to be strong. I pride myself on trying to be the be the big papa bear in the house and whatnot. And I am being so honest. There was a point in time this past week in which the vomiting had started, and that's one of the things that some of us have to go through. Unfortunately, Kai and myself, we had to go through the vomiting. And there was one point in time this week when I was vomiting. I hadn't eaten in what, probably 8-10 days by that point in time. So it wasn't like it was, like there was anything in me to vomit out aside from Gatorade. And I was literally in the kitchen, and I won't ever forget this. And I'm sitting in the chair. I'm trying to get comfortable. I can't get comfortable. And literally, I got to the point to where I was calling on the Lord. Like I was like, look, I was like, Daddy, you gonna have to do something. You're gonna have to intervene right here. And I was to the point to where I was like, look, Daddy, if you don't do something, I'm gonna have to tell and ask my wife to take me to the hospital because I am hurting in places I've never hurt. I am feeling bad, like a bad that I've never felt before, and I have no energy to do anything. But the thing that stopped me was in my mind, I was saying, I'm not going to the hospital because, and y'all hear me, because that's where people go to die. And I know that sounds morbid. I know that sounds bad, but literally I was saying I'm not going there because that's where people go to die. You get on the respirator, you don't come off and you don't come home. And so as I'm praying, as I'm talking to the Lord, I'm like, Lord, I need to be here with my family. I need to be here with my wife. I cannot let them go through this by themselves. And it was almost like supernaturally the Lord was able to, I mean, he didn't necessarily lift the pain, but he gave me extra strength.
Yeah.
And that in and of itself was like, whoa. First and foremost, thank you, God. But secondly, I'm like, I am fighting a battle that I've never fought before.
Yeah.
I'm in an all out assault and war on something I've never done this before. So I don't necessarily know what to do.
Yeah, and I honestly, I think that's the experience that we all are having.
Yeah.
Around the world this year, and praise God that we know Him,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because that gives us that peace and the comfort that we need. There was nothing else in that moment.
Yeah.
I mean, I was distraught at that moment.
Yep.
I knew he was feeling bad. I was concerned and worried, and I was praying. Our wearing a mask and cleaning our hands and all those sorts of things. Listen, wherever you may be politically or whatever, that's on you. But that didn't mean that we lacked any faith.
Right. Right.
We weren't doing that because we lacked any faith, and we don't continue to do it because we lack any faith. It's about wisdom, and it's about respect for others. But we knew who to call on in the midst when it happened. So we knew he was still sovereign, whether or not we were battling the virus as a family or not.
Yep.
He was still in control.
Yep.
And so I thank God that we have him to call on. And so, as we continue, this doesn't look like, I mean, I know there are some vaccines that are coming out and that sort of thing, but it doesn't seem like this is ending anytime soon.
Yeah, yeah, and
for
honey,
all of us.
I'm gonna tell you. Listen, I don't watch the Clumps and Sherman Clump and them, and I don't watch how.
That wasn't a vaccine,
listen,
but I get it.
I
You
don't watch
need Buddy Love
how
coming
Buddy
out your
Love
backside.
jumped out the backside. Whoa, whoa, whoa. And I'm telling y'all right now, somebody asked me the other day, they're like, well, P, are you gonna take the vaccine? I said, nah. Hey, listen, I'm gonna have to wait and see what happened with a couple other people first, because you ain't gonna have Buddy Love jumping out your boy. I'm sorry, but I'm just telling the truth.
Absolutely. And even though they say that we have certain antibodies and
Right.
that we can't get the virus again for another 3 to 6 months, maybe, we're still being conscientious and cautious, because the bottom line is, I say scared and fear,
Mm-hmm.
but know this, that my faith was strong, that I knew we were going to be okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But what got me, and I'll share a little bit about my symptoms because they were very different from Philip's. And you could mistake them as something very common.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. and infect a whole lot of other people
Yep.
who may not be as fortunate as you. So anyways, my thing was when we're sitting there and I took myself and Kai and Saray to urgent care on Monday.
Right.
So I got hit by a Mack truck in my sleep Saturday, early Sunday morning, and took everybody to the doctor. There were 3 of us in that room, and she looks at us and she says, I think you need a COVID test, but it's up to you. Number one, no, that, like, she didn't make us. We didn't have to get one.
Yeah, but what? Let me ask you a question.
What if I had said?
Yeah, what if you had said no? You know
actually,
what I mean?
Saray did say no, and she said, okay. She said, well, from the looks of your throat, we're gonna swab you for strep, and we're gonna leave it at that. If your brother and your mother test positive for COVID, I'm telling you now, that's what's in your throat. So we went to like a I don't know, some kind of chamber. I can't remember what you call it. It's, I guess when they suck the air out or whatever to keep the virus from like going all over the place to keep the nurse. And they got the swab out. So did Saray's throat first. Swab Saray's throat, and then the nurse says, Mom, I'm going to do Mom first so you can see it's not that bad. And I was like, are you sure you want me to do first? I'm not sure how I'm going to react. And I was like, whoa, wait, I have to think this through really quick. Because if I reacted in a way that was not favorable, I'm telling you.
It would not have been a good look for anybody.
No, Kai would have tore that room in pieces. I mean, he would have destroyed it because he has heard enough on TV.
Oh, yeah.
And people talking about the test that he knows. So I was like, yeah, let me go first. So literally, y'all, she puts this, Q-tip up to my brain, swabs, and I said, see, Kai, wasn't that bad?
It wasn't that bad.
Meanwhile, y'all, no joke, I'm holding a tear. Like, I ain't blinking. I'm like this. Because I don't want him to see that one tear before she gets over to the sink to put mine down to pick his up. Yeah. So literally, she swabbed his nose, and I said, whew, thank God I can let that tear go. And literally, right then, the tear came down my face. And he was like, it wasn't too bad. So we did rapid result tests, which, by the way,
yeah, check this out, y'all.
Numbers are underreported. I don't know about every state, but in the state of Georgia, they do not count in your normal count the rapid test.
That's crazy.
From what I've read, I read recently as this past week. If you had an antigen test, which that's the rapid, which a lot of people are doing because they want to go back to work, y'all.
And they want to know.
They need work, and they need to know, and they need to get back to life.
Right.
Kids need to go to school, and if my kid doesn't have it, I got to work, you know, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
So a lot of people are doing the rapid test. So I don't know how underreported these numbers are, but that's just a little side tidbit because I like data, however you prefer to say it. So anyways, so when our tests came back and she said, you both are positive. And she looked at my daughter and she said, and I would say you are too.
Right.
And her strep test actually came back negative, but then it was processed at the hospital. And we later during the week got a call that she had strep. So then we come home.
Yeah.
And literally in the car, I'm beginning to get pushback from Saray, who has too much to do.
Yeah.
So in her teenage mentality, and then when she got here, she got a buddy. You know, I got a little wisdom. So when you on the porch with you and your boys or you and your girls, well, you got a whole lot of strength. So don't let two people get all ganged up under the same principle, because they got real bold on us. And started showing out. Like, I got so upset with them. They were so angry, and you're not going to keep us here. And
they thought we was putting them in jail or something. Like we were intentionally putting them in jail.
I wish you didn't have to be here.
Yeah.
But there's nowhere for you to go. You cannot stay with your grandmother just in case you have it.
Right.
Your grandmother is on oxygen. Your grandfather is 60 plus. They are at most high risk. That's who is passing away.
Right.
White people, 65 years of age and older. So You're not going there. You can't go there. There's nowhere you can go. So you might as well get over it. And you got to be quarantined. They were saying 14 days. Now they're saying 10 days if you're asymptomatic, or 7 days if on the 7th day you test negative. So y'all been researching. So at that time, they're just angry.
Oh, they
wanted to go to the football game
when
on
I say
Friday.
they was angry, they were a different kind of angry. It was bad angry.
And I've been hungry and angry. But y'all, I ain't never been Rona and angry. I was rangry, and that's ugly. I was rangry.
Yeah.
And that's a new word. That's when you got Rona and you're angry. And I got so upset. I slammed that door, and I went outside. I went out towards the woods and had to sit down in the grass. And me and Jesus, we had a little meeting, and I said, Lord, please help me, because I am not physically or emotionally in the right place to be able to deal with this.
I thought she was over like, I'm gonna get
No, I called on Jesus. I said the name of Jesus multiple times.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you, our young people don't understand it. They feel like so much of their life has been taken away.
Yeah.
They haven't had graduations and all those sorts of things.
Yep.
And, you know, it's very difficult for them to understand and to manage. But, you know, in that moment, I had this, like, even epiphany, like, did I fail my children? Like, are they really that selfish? Like, you know, like, could they
so we in the process of going through Corona, and you're in the process of asking yourself.
I have a football game I got to get to.
Yeah.
They don't even play football. Their boyfriends play football.
You know, now I'll tell you, the funny thing was, after, you know, obviously watching what happened and literally, you know, recognizing that I wasn't feeling too hot anyways, you know, something came over me. I said, I need to go get a test to figure out what's going on, because if you positive and Kai's positive, you know, and the doctor's thinking Saray may be something.
And you hadn't been feeling well
I wasn't feeling too hot anyways. I said, well let me go to get a test and let me get these doggone raggedy.
I have never. I'm holding the mic for this one. My mom was on the phone, and she had never. I had never heard my husband be so stern, and adamant. Yeah. And he told them to get to the car now.
They needed to go on and get to the car.
And he made that face where his lips disappear.
Yeah, they needed to go on and get to the car, and we wound up going, and which I'm glad we did. We wound up going, and so it was me, Saray, Jessa, and Zoe in my car going to get this test. And like you, I went first. And I ain't gonna lie to y'all, when the dude came and stuck that doggone Q-tip up my nose, and he went up the right one first, I said, Lord, I don't want to, swing on this man right here, because that thing hurt. And then he pulled it out the right one and had to go into the left one. He had to go into both of the sides. Like,
why?
Well, that's the kind of.
Did they do that to the girls?
They did that to all the girls. So
Zoe said she cried.
She did cry, but I cried too. While y'all playing that thing, it does not feel
rapid,
good.
They go into one.
Nah, they go both sides.
She did my right one. Right one will never forget it. My right one, every time I get near, when I went to urgent care to take Kai back, my right nostril hid. It was like this.
Look,
it was
telling
hiding, because it was like, oh, you ain't, no, not time again. We did, speaking of which, have to take Kai back to urgent care.
Yeah, we had to want to take him back.
His vomiting was violent. And out of 7 days, he had 4 days of vomiting, 2 days back to back. And so we were worried about dehydration, and we knew he told me he would tear that hospital apart if he had to go to the hospital for fluids. So we did do that, and he slept for 2 days after that and began feeling better. But, you know, Zoe had sense about herself, I have to say, as the youngest. The whole time she started getting a headache on Thursday after her ball game, and I told her, I said, oh, it's just one more day till Thanksgiving. Since you're not feeling well, I don't want to expose you to COVID and have you go to school. How ironic was that, y'all?
Exactly.
I had actually shut down my organization just to keep people safe. I work with adults living with serious mental illness who live about 20 years less than their peers. And so trying to keep them safe, we had made the decision that the Friday before that weekend that we were closing our face-to-face services and going to go just to virtual services. So just a lot of irony. Like it was like something in my body was telling me like, you're about to get hit. Rona about to show up. Hey, Rona here.
Right.
Rona in the house.
Right.
So as we get ready to like, close today, for me, coronavirus was, like I said, it was like a sinus headache.
That's how it started.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's how it started. But I didn't feel any drainage. She said she saw a little bit in there, but I didn't feel I had any. Didn't really feel congested. Didn't have the cough. He still has the cough.
Yeah, I can't shake that cough.
I had gastro stuff, but I did not have the diarrhea.
Mm-hmm.
There was times when your boy couldn't get out the bathroom.
Yeah,
and it started that way, and then you ended up throwing up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but Kai was throwing up
pretty much the whole time. Yep.
And then along about on Tuesday, I got the hiccups. I had the hiccups all day. So weird gastro stuff. I had hiccups.
Right.
And that was when I realized I was losing my sense of smell and taste. And I just want to say I was more angry about that than anything.
She was mad about that, y'all. She really was.
Because when it got to Thursday, and I am not the biggest girl in the world, I keep my carb count low intentionally. But on Thanksgiving, I eat carbohydrates like I'm never going to get them again. Like they are going out of style. She be trying to get it. Running out.
She be trying to get it.
And all I could get was texture and salt. So only thing I could really taste was like really salty or so sweet you don't want to eat it.
Yeah.
And so I told the Lord, I said, Lord, if I can't taste, I don't want to live. And I said, hold on, Lord.
Run that back again.
Run that back. But let me rewind.
Yeah, rewind.
I take that back. But I did, really think about that sense. And I do really appreciate being able to taste.
Yeah.
So I am 14 days post my first symptoms. And my sense of smell and taste is not 100%, but food doesn't just taste like texture or salt. Yay.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing.
That is a good thing. Now, I started feeling better on Friday. Zoe started feeling better about the same day. And Saturday, still a little bit of weakness, but then I went back to work on Monday, and I had a doctor's note to be able to do that. And I started Monday off not on a good note. I went to get up. And, when you get up in the morning, you rub your eyes, right? I rub my eyes to get up. How many of y'all rub your eyes to get up? And when I opened my eyes, the room was spinning in the same direction I had rubbed my eyes. And I immediately became nauseated.
Yeah.
And so I knew that something was not right. Only about less than 10%, around 7% of people have some neurologic other than taste and smell. So I need to follow up with my general practitioner about that. But I've had those same sorts of things, and it's mostly only when I'm going to bed. So
I told her to put her foot on the ground. Some of y'all know what I'm talking about right now. I told her to
was
put
not
that
the
foot on the ground.
cognac that didn't, I couldn't put my foot. Rona don't play by the same rules.
That thing always worked for me. You just put the foot on the
work.
ground and everything stops.
It happens when I turn over.
When
I wake up in the middle of the night. So for the first couple, I think like Monday through Thursday, I did take some melatonin or some nighttime medicine just to help me sleep so that I didn't have that and the nausea that came along with it. But because the other two girls, despite all of those symptoms, because I felt bad, you all. I didn't run a fever, but you just feel bad.
Yep.
I didn't have the sore throat, but I felt the thing that got me, when I say fear or scare, the thing that scared me the most was, looking at Philip. He's got it. Zoe has it. Kai has it. We don't, Saray has strep, but they didn't have it. And I just was like, Lord, we're the caregivers. Like, how sick? That was the first thought that came. How sick are we going to be? How sick are we going to get? Are we going to be able to handle this as the parent? As I have that nurturing instinct in me. Not that you don't. I mean, you definitely were helping me with Kai and that sort of thing. But that, for me, was the scariest thing. How sick are we going to be as a family? And so immediately, despite feeling horrible, I just went, my mind just took over.
She got a mama zone.
Yeah, and I was cleaning with bleach. I was scrubbing down the bathroom, 5, 6, 7 times a day.
Mm-hmm.
Everything, spraying
Mm-hmm.
everything with Lysol that was
Mm-hmm.
touched, spraying all the fabrics that we couldn't wash with Lysol a couple of times a day,
Right.
wiping the tables down with bleach. It meant we had to eat in separate spaces. It meant the girls had to you know, get food before us, and I would
Yep.
set it up and I would wash my hand. My hands are still so dry and just cracked and hurting. But it kept our 2 older girls
COVID
safe,
free.
and they
Yep.
were COVID free.
Yep.
But that was, to me, that was the scariest thing, was how sick are we going to be?
Yeah.
And are we going to be able to take care of our children?
Yeah.
And so we had family and friends that jumped in.
Yep.
Our church sent us food. Shout out to Crossover Church ATL.
Yep. Yep.
Friends from church, other friends, my best friend and her mother, and
Mm-hmm.
then my parents, my sister and her husband. Shout out to them. My dad was the Turkey Express on Thanksgiving, and they literally cooked everything and put it under the gazebo and left it for us. So even with instructions of, how to cook that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I would encourage you, like, if you know a family, we don't feel like eating a whole lot, but you need to eat. Like, send them stuff.
Yeah.
Moms that have COVID and are trying to take care of their families, like, we need you to support us in any way you can. And so I am forever grateful
Mm-hmm.
for that, because it meant so much to me, especially with my nurturing, just characteristics, and then also just the overcomer.
We ain't made that sweet potato souffle thing yet.
No, we haven't. I've been waiting until, we're feeling better and all those sorts of things. And I didn't make my sweet potato pies. My down south sweet
Y'all
potato
see how
pies
I'm thinking
for
now? I am
Thanksgiving.
definitely starting to feel better
He is
because
feeling
I got
better.
food on the brain.
But he didn't eat. And the cough is still
Yeah.
bad.
You know what my first meal was? Aside from the broth.
I was gonna say, well, I know what
Yeah.
I fed you.
Aside from the broth,
are you talking? Yeah. What was your first meal?
some ramen noodles, the beef kind with a little cayenne.
Okay.
Hey,
And it tasted like a steak, right?
Steak ramen noodles. That's what it was.
So during the time that, and today, I was like back in the kitchen. I was in my zone, and I cooked some cheesecake Danish from homemade
Yeah, she
for
put her foot in breakfast, yeah.
and some French toast and some bacon for the boys and all that stuff. But my husband and Kai had certain things that they kept requesting. I mean, they were like, they feel like Hades, and you can tell, and they're like, oh, I really want, and then they're like, hold on, run into the bathroom, and Kai, all he kept asking for
was some fried pickles.
Fried pickles.
I don't know
I'm
where
like,
that
he
even
is
came
sick
from.
as a dog, puking. Who wants pickles when they're puking?
Yeah, he wanted fried
And then
pickles.
let's add some grease to that, because
Yeah.
that's real good for your stomach. So, he wanted fried pickles. So guess what? Mom got him
Some fried pickles. Yep.
today.
Yep.
And what was it, sir, that you kept craving?
And I don't even know where this came from, but all your boy wanted was some meatloaf. Let me say it again. Some meatloaf. I didn't necessarily want no steak, no scrimps. I just wanted some meatloaf. And when's the last time we had meatloaf?
So I just have to say, every time I make meatloaf, it stays in the refrigerator. It's not because it doesn't taste good. I love it. My mom loves when I make it. That's like her fave. But all the kids are like, So there's just certain things that, even though we like them, I don't really make them. Maybe once, twice a year. I hadn't made a meatloaf all of 2020.
I tore that meatloaf up today.
And maybe that's what it was. Maybe I just needed to.
You needed COVID?
No. Maybe I need to make meatloaf, and now the whole world's going to be healed.
That meatloaf was off the chains. I went back for seconds today.
But I do not know where in the world that craving came. And between the two of them, I wasn't sure if they had COVID or they were pregnant. I really didn't know. They were vomiting in the morning,
No.
craving weird stuff. I'm like, oh, COVID done impregnated the boys.
No, it did not.
There will be no more children. No. So, different for everybody, but here's my word of advice. I've given you some. Rest.
Yeah.
If you get it, rest and hydrate, okay? I took vitamin C, vitamin D, elderberry. If you can do that, great. If not, just hydrate and rest. If it's a family that you know and they are battling COVID together, please be kind, generous. Send them
help 'em out.
drinks, send them food. They don't feel like eating a whole lot, so don't overwhelm them with the food, and make
Right.
it something easy that they don't have to cook.
Right.
And then the other thing is, listen, and we said wear your masks and wash your hands. Stop being nasty.
Don't be nasty. Don't
Right.
be nasty. Right.
And we're joking. But not about not wearing your mask, wash your hands. We're joking about you being nasty. Because we don't know you like that. But anyways, and then the last thing is, if you do get the virus,
Mm-hmm.
if you do, just seek the Lord
Mm-hmm.
and rely on Him for all things. He was our strength.
Yep.
He
Yep.
was our stronghold. He was the thing that held this whole family together, just the praying. I cried during the prayer on Thanksgiving, but He held us together. So through all of it, just, continue to be grateful and thankful. Thank the Lord for your health and your strength every single day.
Yeah.
That you wake up. That's just so critical, that you just continue to be grateful and continue just to keep pushing.
Yep.
Like, you're going to feel bad, but
Push through.
keep pushing through.
Yep.
And you can do it. We pray that you don't get it. Protect yourself, protect your family. But listen, if you feel sick at all, other than pushing through, if you feel sick at all, the only other thing I want to tell you is just go and get it checked out.
Yep.
This is not the time of year that you can just be like, oh, it's just allergies.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just a cold. It's a sinus infection.
You don't have to
Tests are
play
free.
hero, yo. You don't have to
No.
play hero.
No, tests are free. If you get the rapid, there is a charge usually in most places, but if you have insurance, there should be something be covered of that. Just go get a test, because you don't have to play the hero. And
That's
listen
right.
to me. Don't COVID shame people.
Yep.
So that's a thing. Kids went back to school, and Zoe is a middle schooler, and she's experienced COVID shame, like kids that didn't want to be around her because she had the virus.
Yeah.
And she's probably the safest person to be around because she got some
She already got it.
antibodies.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
but anyways, don't COVID shame people. If you get the virus, it's not that you did anything bad or anything wrong.
Right. Right.
It just is what it is. And until, it isn't anymore. It just is.
Yep.
And
Yep.
that'll preach.
Go ahead on in. Well, listen, thank y'all so much for hanging out with us tonight as we shared with you how, COVID-19 almost killed me. Like, for real. It really did. But we are back in action. I know I'm about 83 1/3% right now, so I'm getting there. I'm starting to,
And that makes my heart sing.
yeah, I'm starting to get there. Still not necessarily going around a whole bunch of people yet.
Yeah,
but,
went out for the first time yesterday.
I did go out for the first time on yesterday to Zoe's basketball game. Had it not been my daughter, I probably wouldn't have went. But but definitely turning the corner and doing those kinds of things. So y'all keep on praying for us. We're gonna keep on praying for you. This is the Edge Life. If you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, check it out. Also, VLOGMAS 2020, dropping content every single day.
And you never know.
What you're gonna get.
see.
You never know. You never know.
It's like a box of chocolates around here. Be careful what you put your finger in. I mean,
you watch yourself now. Edge Life, y'all. God bless y'all. Peace.
Edge life, you're too close to the ledge. We gon' push you forward a few steps ahead. It's that edge life. Oh, gotta get it in your head, baby. Welcome to the edge life. You're too close to the ledge. We gon' push you forward a few steps ahead. It's that edge life. Oh, gotta get it in your head. Welcome to the edge.